Right now, some of you are going through the hardest time of your life. You don't know what's up. You're confused. Poverty has shown up as job opportunities you probably shouldn't take. It's just rough all around you. And no matter what you do, it just doesn't seem to get right. I ain't talking to everybody. I'm just talking to the people I'm talking to. Congratulations. We call that the land of opposites. And the more opposite it gets, the more you are about to experience what you are attracting. So the only thing I'll say to you is do yourself a favor and recognize this thing has showed up in my life to serve me. That's all. This health, this sickness in my body, it showed up to serve me. Because when you plant good seeds and you keep moving forward, God has to let you get your burning desire.
Thank you for that.
I'm sorry. You're very welcome. Very welcome. As you know, as a matter of fact, I'm glad John actually said something reminded me. Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that was, that John mentioned his uncle going to hospice. His uncle did pass that same night. John, you are in our prayers, and our genuine condolences. Now, let's see if we can do something great. Tempest has a great class lined up for us. We've worked on it. She's worked on it, for over a week, and I'm excited about it. Tempest, let's roll.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday to you. I hope you are having a great day so far. I hope that if you are one of those who are going through, you keep moving forward and you remember why you started. And if you have to go to do something that wasn't in your plan, know that it's still part of the plan. I had to remind myself of that several times. And it's just life. Life takes you on different journeys to prep you for the journey. And maybe it's a reason for this. Maybe you don't understand. I'm talking to myself. Maybe you don't understand it now.
Well, you're talking to all of them.
But it's for a reason. The roadblocks are for a reason. The people leaving you is for a reason. The lack of money is for a reason. The concern about what happens next is for a reason. But if you get stuck in why is this happening to me, you'll never get to your burning desire. You'll remain stuck in a place that wasn't worthy of you. So I encourage you to move forward. I encourage you to talk it out with somebody. I encourage you to keep focused on why you decided to take this journey. And when it gets rough, remember why you started. John, I see you have your hand up. I feel this class is about to take a right turn, so that's fine. John, go ahead.
I'm sorry to do that.
No, it's okay.
So, and I'm probably one of the ones that's impacted by what y'all are saying, because I'm seeing a lot of roadblocks and everything, but I just keep plowing ahead. But one of the things that I'm very enlightened by is what they call angel numbers. And basically it's 3 numbers that you see in sequence. And I noticed recently, and it's just picking up steam, that every time I'm just seeing these angel numbers everywhere. I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night last night, rolled over, and it was 3:33. And I'm going, wow. We were at the doctor's office with my wife yesterday, and the piece of paperwork that they handed to us had a note on it, and it said 222. So I know great things that come in my way. I mean, I just keep seeing them, the numbers, and that's all I'm holding on to, because I know my angels are saying, rock on, my brother. We're about to do it. Sorry for taking it on the right.
Oh, no. No. I guess I need to hear that. I haven't been seeing numbers, but every once in a while when I'm overwhelmed, I suddenly feel a wave of calmness over me, and I get it. I understand it. Thank you, John. You didn't take us on the right turn, but I do feel that maybe this conversation was brought up for a reason. I don't know why Antonio started class out the way he did, but maybe that's you. So I'll push my agenda to the side for a second and reiterate, keep moving forward. Because as entrepreneurs, I think we feel like we have to put on a brave face and make it look like we have it all together. And it's okay not to have it all together. It's okay to have honest conversations with yourself and pause and take inventory of who you are and where you are and what you're going through. Because you can't serve somebody, you can't serve the masses if you're not right with yourself. And it's okay. It is okay to acknowledge that you are not okay. So don't be afraid to have those tough conversations with yourself. I have them all the time. They are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. So if you need to talk it out, this is a safe space.
Well, let me say something, because I keep trying not to, but it's not okay, right? But everything is okay. And when you can get to the point where I was talking to Tempest yesterday. I used some cuss words, so I'll take them out when I was talking to Tempest. I was talking to Tempest, and I was like, I just got to the point that something crazy was happening, and this prosperity popped up out of it, and I was like, poof, yeah, I did that. It was like, how do you do that? Well, I just got to the point to where I realized the ground is a lot smarter than me. And I keep trying to outsmart the ground. I keep trying to be quicker and smarter and more God than the ground. But I put in these seeds, and the ground know what to do with seeds. The ground has been making seeds, bountiful harvest. When I was born, before I was born, before my dad was born, before my dad's dad was born, before we can even track our lineage back, when we was in caves, and before mankind was on planet Earth, the ground has been being the ground. And I need to stop trying to do the ground's job. That was a high level of awareness. Break that down to everybody. Yo, stop trying to control everything. Everything is fine. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you're off track. Mm-hmm. It's not your responsibility to figure stuff out. Not everything. Do your part. Plant your seeds. Step away from the planting process because you're done. And just have the courage not to walk away and quit on the whole garden. Once you put a seed in the ground, you automatically schedule a harvest. Period. The only way you don't get the harvest is if you give up on the ground and say, this don't work. But everything is okay. Every single thing is okay. Your life, and I say this with the greatest empathy possible, you have not messed up in your life so great that your God, or whatever you believe in, you done threw off its plan. Think about the arrogance of man. When we say things like, I messed up, I'm so bad, or I'm so far behind, or I'm 50 plus now. Think about that for a second. We're saying we are so strong, we are so old that the supreme being, yeah, can't work past that, because you know what? We're so much more powerful than the plan, purpose, and destiny of our lives and what's going on. At the end of the day, everybody, everything's okay. If you're experiencing not okay, congratulations. You must get not okay before you get to okay. It's the great duality of life. When your mama gave birth to you, she almost had to die so you can live. Back to you, Timbers.
And that was part
or
of my
John.
And that was part of my race to 5,000 today, was a message of, you're not just another person in this world. You were put here for a reason to accomplish something. And I ended it with, get up and make some noise. The world needs you. And that's about all I've got to say on that.
No, well, yeah, it's good enough. Timbers, you teach your agendas, we going right.
We might as well just turn right.
Well, since we want to turn right, I'm just saying, because I've been listening to stuff all day long. So let's just do this here. Let's talk about one thing that has three different pieces: you, your dreams, and your interpretation of what's going on. That's it. Somebody put that in chat for me. You, your dreams, and your interpretation of what's going on. It's the only three things that ever happen on planet Earth. Nothing else really happens. You, your dreams, and your interpretation of what's actually going on. Let's start with number three, because it is where we go wrong. Your interpretation of what's actually going on. That's good or bad. You could be doing a fantastic job or a terrible job at it. I don't know. But if the harvest never serves you, it's a terrible job. Anything happening is only happening for two reasons: to serve you, and that's what your awareness holds in it. I'll say it again. Anything happening to you in your life, it is to serve you, or it is because your awareness contains that within it. I'm going to break that down a little more. We'll open this up for a little conversation. Did anyone, if it's in your life, it is there to serve you, period, point blank. It's either there to lift you up or to make you stronger so you can get up. Remember, as a baby, it was hard for you to hold your neck, because gravity was stronger than your neck muscles. But the reason why all of you can pay attention to me today is because gravity was stronger and you had to overcome what was against you. I'm trying to help somebody, Grace. We all have the power to hold our neck, look left, right, up, down, because we didn't have that power, because gravity had more power than us. Gravity that worked against us as children was actually there to serve us as adults. So anything in your life that's just happening, it doesn't matter whether you perceive it as good or bad, it is there to serve you. Period, point blank, it's there to serve you. Now that you got the serving, call this number for me. It may be the food. Now that you got us serving you, now that it's serving you, here's the problem. Your interpretation is killing you. It's not really working out for you. You're either saying, this is fantastic, it's a good job, I'm so happy. Or you're saying, this always happens to me. And I want the "this always happens to me" people to sound off. Who has, and we'll just say accidentally, going back to, man, it always happens to me mode. I gotta get some money back because I keep spending mode. So that's the same thing. Who's that? I want to hear from you.
I gotta get some money back because I keep spending.
That's the same thing. Listen to the words. Robert got our head up. I got to get some money back because I keep spending. You're saying two things at the same time. You saying I don't have, and you're saying money keeps running out. You're not trying to say that, but you are vibrating at what I'm doing is running out, and if I don't make a switch, I'm gonna lose what I got. Now, maybe that's not, I see Robert saying it's not about money, it's other things. You're saying the same thing about other, y'all. An old preacher once told me the devil got like 5 tricks. Just every generation, he just repackage them. Yeah, it ain't that many ways to mess up. It's pride, lust. It's not that much. But just get repackaged. Mm-hmm. So it may not be money for you, but that's how you feel about your relationship or your health or whatever, right? So let me hear. Actually, Tempest, you say something and let them hear. Y'all hit her with her empathy. She'll better serve you here. Go ahead, Chantel.
Okay, hello family. So I have this, it's actually been on my mental for this past week in the classes. And here it is Friday and it's here still in my mind. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna follow my heart and I'm gonna just speak my truth. I've been feeling this type of vibration of many things that we are not doing, and why it is not working out for us. And as I feel like on this journey, as we continue to show up, no matter how it looks, you can tell when stuff is not working. You know when something is not working for you or why you have not received the blossoms or the flowers that you have the desire for, or maybe the desire is not all the way there because you haven't received it, or however we say it in all of this terminology and knowledge and all this high ranked stuff. But I've been receiving a lot of why we, haven't gotten to where we want to be, and it's bringing me down. I am really, I know something that we always discuss and, talk about here within the family is, how we can do better and how we can better serve one another. And I love that. And I'm just putting this out here. And the journey is definitely we know that it's difficulty, that, but just like anything, what you give attention to is what's going to grow. So speaking on, the stuff of what is not, what we're doing wrong, in the sense, it's like, that is just, kind of like talking about what we're doing wrong when there's so, and then also to say, or to, communicate that, well, what we're doing wrong is what we're doing right, which I understand. I get it, because we're always in the right place at the right time. How could you not be? But it's just like, yeah. I just wanted to say
that's fair.
Okay.
No, that's completely fair. Two things. So we're gonna switch it, but I don't have to switch it because it was already there. So you got two things here. One, you got to actively listen. Because everything I said is exactly what you said. And at the tail end, I said, let me hear from the folk that are feeling like this way. That's one. Number two, let's just go there. Okay. So let's focus. So we'll honor your request, even though that's where we were. Oh, my camera's off. Let's focus on how you get out of it. Okay. But that's the deal. I've been saying it the whole call. You don't have to get out of it. There is nothing to get out of. It is. How many times have I said that? The 20 minutes we've been on, that everything is okay. There is nothing to get out of.
And Antonio,
well, I'm not just talking to you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and I'm so sorry to cut in, but yes, because I did hear you say, comment on if you're feeling like that, or the other way. So yes, okay, I remember you did say that.
Yeah.
And if I could just, and let me just make my comment on where'd you got it? You got it right here. Your interpretation on what's actually going on. So I'm just gonna go ahead full force for it real quick. If you don't mind, do you mind, Antonio?
Never mind. You got it.
Okay, I'm gonna go full force. On your dreams, me, my dreams, my interpretation on what's actually going on. For myself, I feel like I am going through a huge transition shift of my old self and my new becoming self, of what I've planted in my life. Period. My dream as to where it's literally, I can chew and taste the nutrients and the benefits from the food of what is in my dreams, right there, to the point where you just gotta fry it, or not fry it because maybe that's not too healthy, but bake it up and eat it. And my interpretation on what's actually going on. Now I can see why you skip right to that question. But when I think of that, on what's actually going on for myself, and my interpretation is that we are in this place where, or I am in this place where, many things are needing to be let go of. A lot of things are needing to go away so that new things can be brought in. Sometimes we refer to the Bible here, and I just know that this one verse where it said something, don't quote me on this, I'm new. And it said something like, you can't pour the new wine into the bottle with the old wine, or something like that. It's like, you got to get rid of the old wine in order to pour some new wine up in it. And it just makes, and that's where I feel like the interpretation of what's actually going on in life and what happens is letting go of old stuff, listening to your heart, following your intuition, tapping in and letting go, and trusting that some things have to go in order for you to let in some new things. Sometimes you have to step outside of the frame to be like, oh no, that's where I belong, or no, that's where I have to let go of. So yeah, that's my interpretation on honestly what's happening right now in my life, or in what's, I don't know, but how do I know what's actually going on? Is that even in my hands? So do I need to even worry about that? Is that my business? I don't know. I don't even think so. But yeah.
Nah, fair enough. Everything you said is right. And this is what this is the it wasn't the point of this call, but when I asked Tempest and I outlined that 1, 2, and 3 there, this is exactly where I was going. Right now, it's 22 people on this call. 22 people are hearing me through your experience. You're not hearing me. I need you to understand that none of you are hearing me. Your experience, your auto-suggestion, you're hearing me and then interpreting me. So some people are pissed off, some people are not. Some people think it's negative, some people are not. What is objective is I have said over and over, everything's okay. Ain't no process. Ain't nothing to fix. Everything's okay. Period. Now, to answer your questions at the tail end, And when she said, am I right? Of course you're right. You know why you're right? Because you're observing it. Everything that Chantel just said, and if I let all of you speak and you start talking, you're going to be right. And if you say I'm being negative, you're going to be right. And if you say I'm picking on you, you're going to be right. And if the goal is to be right, you're going to be right. Whatever you observe, you've made right. See if we can take it back to the most powerful thing I said in this conversation so far, which I'm glad it's been recorded because you'll be rewinded after this. I said anything in your life, I said, broke it down in two parts, is serving you. And anything in your life is only there because it's within your awareness. Does anybody remember me saying that?
Yes.
Anything in, I slowed down as much as possible because it is the truth. It is what is objective. It is what is not subjective. It's not my feelings, not your feelings. If Aiden, who is my oldest son, who's listening right now, if he say daddy's being mean, he's right. If he say daddy's being nice, he's right. He'll be right in whatever he say, because the moment he observed it, he dismissed every other possible reality. So in his perception, in his life, he is right. And that is what I was saying in 1, 2, and 3 over here. You, your dreams, and your interpretation of what's actually going on. And I said in a bold statement, the truth is that's the only 3 things ever happening in this universe. The only 3 things ever happening is you, where you are, you, what you want, and how you are perceiving what's happening. And poor people always perceive what's happening as life is just on autopilot, and boom, you adjust to things going on. If you are currently adjusting to anything that is going on in your life, you are poor. Period. You're poor.
See, the attitude I have, and I'm sure I've shared it many times, is that if something difficult comes my way, I look at it and I go, whoa, that was awesome. Show me the goodness coming out of this. So I look at it and I'm starting to look for the goodness. I don't look at the difficulty anymore or what went wrong. I'm just going, hey, that got that out of the way. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to mean the seedlings coming out of the ground. And I'm seeing that right now.
That puts you in complete or near complete alignment with God or whatever you believe in. Like everything you're saying is fantastic. You're right now, you're a beacon of light amongst your peers. Did y'all hear this, man? Mm-hmm. You couldn't have wrote a better book.
See.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So for me,
no, you good.
When I lost Dad, I kind of questioned why, we had to lose him so young. I mean, 70 plus. I mean, that's young. But then I had that night that he came to me and he said, dude, really? Is this all you got in your life? And I started realizing that even though we were so close in life, that he needed to transition to the next level just so that we could continue on our conversations. And that's the other thing is when we talk about we need someone to talk to, well, I've got Dad in my corner every day. When I need to talk, I just go, hey, Dad, let's go. Let's talk about this. And it's keeping a smile on my face. And I know that greatness is coming my way because I've got one of the biggest cheerleaders in my life. He had to pass on from this life to the next just so that he could see what he envisioned in his own mind for me.
I can't say that. It's just beautiful, and I'm glad you've dedicated your life to your father, and I'm glad you perceive it all that way. Right now, you're number 3 here. It's really working well for you. So if you don't have anything that you don't want, You just haven't walked into the harvest yet. Simple. It's not in delayed. It's here. You just don't exist on that timeline at this moment. That's all. But at the end of the day, everything's working out. Get ready, Michelle M. I'm coming to you. Everything's working out. I need you to get this. Now, 24 people on this call, all of y'all, you're hearing me through your experience. For some of you, I represent an authority figure you couldn't stand. So no matter what I say, you ain't gonna like. Just what it is. It's just what it is. Or my confidence is going to offend you. It's just what it is. For some of you, you're saying, wow, what a gentle man. Half of people will be like, whoa, gentle. But for you, this is what gentle represents. Every last one of you, there's a phrase for it. It's called frame of reference. You're all listening to me. I'm only saying one thing. But then you're going to tell me, here's what I feel about what you're saying. And right there, you're wrong and you're right at the same time. You're right because you're observing it. You're wrong because, well, there ain't no wrong, but you're wrong in this case, lower level language, because you want to talk about how you feel and not what's going on. Yesterday, I was interviewing, the podcast is up. I was interviewing a billionaire, Andreas Pirro, and Grace was sitting right next to me in the studio. And this man said something, and I just witnessed, some of you do it now, and I always witness, you always do it. This man said, we were talking about the power of listening. This guy is the most successful real estate person in Thailand. And he says, and I say, man, how important is listening? That's the only way I got to $1 billion is listening. He said, and I quote, in fact, let me not quote it. Grace, you quote it so they can know it's real.
He said, when people talk, they're only saying what it is that they know.
And that's the doggone problem. When people talk, you're only saying what you already know. You know what I'm saying? That is the most, I had to stop. Like, if you listen to the podcast, I had to say, wait a minute, wait, I've never heard that before in my life. Wait a minute. It's facts. When you run your mouth, you're only pushing out your brain what's already up there. And that's the problem. What's already up there got you here.
And to follow up on that is that too often many people are not listening to what the other person's saying and only focusing on what am I going to say next. And
Facts.
Generally why, if you're around me, you'll see I'm quiet for the most part. I mean, I'm noisy on these calls, but for the most part, I just sit back and I'm just listening and taking it all in. And then, you know, when I have something to say, I let it rip.
Good. And you can always talk because you always have value. And you only add value. You don't use it as a, anyway, y'all know those people that use it as a time to
Antonio.
Make it their spotlight. Yes, sir, whoever that is. I can't see.
Mr. Calloway.
Hey, Calloway.
I was just listening in, and I'd like to speak a little bit of what I know. But
okay. Right after you, I'm going to get Michelle. So, Michelle, as soon as he finishes, you jump in.
Okay, I'm going to make it quick.
No, you're good.
Whenever I, since I've become a part of the ATS family, for me, I keep an open mind. I don't see you as arrogant or all these things. I've been hearing you making points of arrogant or all the other descriptions. My mind is just open because I don't know. You're in a place, it doesn't matter to me if you're younger than me. You can learn from a baby. But I've learned so much in the short time that I've listened. I've learned so much, and every day I'm thinking on it. In the short time that I've been a part of the family, I've learned so much. But Socrates had a saying that smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people learn from their experiences. Stupid people just have all the answers already. That's Socrates. So for me, I love listening to everybody, because like I said, I find out every time I get on one of these calls, hey, that's something else I didn't know. So I just keep an open mind. I let everything come to me and flow through me. I don't try to attach myself to everything, but I just allow it to come through me, flow through me, and whatever I need, I take that and utilize it, and then I keep it moving. But I'm man enough to realize, it's just like I was open with you when you said we got to do our keynote and everything for certification and all that. I was honest. I did not know that keynote meant speech. I did not know what bullet points were until, I got with the ATS family, and I realized, I said, well, I thought I could just get up and speak and talk, but I didn't realize that there was more to it than that. There's a technique, to it. And so, hey, I'm learning all of this, but I'm like, hey, this is great. Now I know what to do and where I'm going. So I just wanted to, to put that in there and everything. I hope,
It's
it's all
beautiful.
right.
It's beautiful. No, you said it. Everybody has spoken beautifully, from Chantel to John, to both Johns. It's beautiful, especially, but I will tell you, like I just told John, if you're going to say that you're keeping yourself open and receptive, that's it. That's the key. Not rejection, to be open and receptive. That's the key. It's no different than what John was saying. He just said different words, but you're now in the same alignment. Same thing. Imagine if whatever you believe in, if you believe in a God, imagine if God was as schizophrenic as us. It's crazy. Michelle? Mueller?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you hear me? Okay. I had asked when you said if you adjust to anything, you are poor. And maybe my definition of the word adjust is wrong, because I feel myself, maybe I'm adjusting a little bit in the just a little bit of a degree. But right now, for me, it's just a little bit of an adjustment, a little bit of a turn is what's keeping me going with the flow and being relaxed. So can you explain to me when you said if you adjust to anything, you're poor?
Yeah, I meant that. I'm not going to I'm going to double down if I'm doing anything. I meant that.
No.
I didn't get to finish because I had got cut off. That's why I got cut off at. But I most certainly meant that. Believe that. But let's do some number 3 over here. Your interpretation of what's actually going on. This is once again in which everybody has their idea of what things mean to them. And it's always the wrong thing. If you're going to say wrong, because there is no wrong. If I can get any of you to do anything by the end of this call, is just know that there ain't no wrong. You're right where you're supposed to be and everything is okay. That's the thesis of everything today. But when you propose a counter argument to anything, you are now saying you're taking a position, and you are now saying, I reject this or this or that, and that ain't it. And as hard as that is to understand, I'll just punch you in the face with it. Who taught you how to do a counter rejection, a counter argument? Average people. And are they living the life you want them to live? You want to live? No. So you should probably listen to something else. How many times? Just think about it. Just think about it. There have been many times on these training calls, someone said something, got rubbed the wrong way, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't get bent out of shape. I'm not rejecting a single thing y'all say. You're right. And you're most beautiful. And you can say whatever you want. When I said, if you are adjusting, you're poor. Everyone heard what I said. But then how you feel about adjusting And how you feel about the word poor got into your 3 over here, your interpretation of what's actually going on. And you went 24 different ways, possibly. Why are you adjusting? Now, I'm not talking about adaptability, right, and all that stuff. And I get that you're very adaptable, Michelle. And, but listen to what you, as a matter of fact, let me get you to repeat what you said. You said, I feel, and then I know what you said, but let me get you to repeat what you said, and we'll draw a line here.
I was saying that I make adjustments. I was saying that I make adjustments a little degree this way or a little degree that way, to stay in the flow of things, to be able to stay relaxed.
Okay. I feel that when I make adjustments, and then I'll paraphrase you here, I'm doing what is right. So can you help me out so I can get to what is actually right? All right. If I can just say one thing, you are already right. And everything is already okay. You ain't got to switch nothing. And at the very heart of don't having to switch that, don't have to grow, is why you adjusting makes you poor. Because when you say, I need to be patient, you admit there's something in your life that you don't like. And when you say, I need to adjust because this I don't like, I need to adjust because this makes me feel like this. You in yourself, you are saying your vibration. And you accidentally observe not the solution, but the necessity to adjust.
Got it. That makes so much sense.
In your own observation, you get your awareness. Your awareness shows you your observation shows you your awareness. If y'all keep adjusting, you're not paying attention to the solution. You're paying attention to the necessity to adjust. And that is a vibrational frequency that says, I must not have what I like, so let me move until I get what I like. Does that work out for you? I don't adjust. Meet me 5 years from now. I'm going to be the same Antonio Smith. Promise you. Meet me 5 years ago. I'm the same Antonio Smith. I evolve. I get far more empathetic. My skin gets tougher and my heart gets softer. But I ain't adjusting to nothing. For what? I create. If you have something in your life that you don't want, stop paying attention to it. Just create what you do want. But you all think you have to stop this. When you say, let me adjust, that means let me focus over here, stop it, adjust. You're paying too much attention to it. You're giving it too much attention. It's way too much, which is what I said. I'll repaste it just for anybody who got in and can't see it. Talk about 3 things as we done went right. That's what Tempest said. Your dreams, and your interpretation of what's actually going on. And I quote myself, because that's the only thing that's really happening in the universe. Nothing else is happening. It's you, what you want outside of you, and your interpretation. Let me say it the way I want to say it. You interpretation of what's actually going on to you. I'll do that again. This time I'll do it for Adonia because I can feel her energy and I know she's catching what I'm saying. 3 things only happen in the universe. You, and you. See, Pam Norris got me now. You, what's going on outside of you, and how inward you feel about what's happening to you. That's it. That's it. Nothing less, and most certainly nothing more. This is why I boldly tell you everything's your fault. It has to be. You know why? Because I understand it. Hand me that quantum physics book up there. The blue one, what the bleep do we know? It's I have plenty more in my home office, but I'll use this for quick. I understand. I completely get that everything in this world is an infinite possibilities of what happened or what can happen. An infinite array of ways. And the moment Chantel observes something, the moment Antonio observes something, it goes out to infinite possibilities and it becomes exactly what you feel about you and what you feel about your dreams and how the inward you feels about what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, you are only ever collapsing your life to what you feel. Period. And that's the truth. Some of you make 6 figures a year because you knew as a kid that's what you was going to do. It was easy for you. But you're struggling to get to 7 because it's not in your awareness. Bob Proctor would tell you just like this. Get ready, John Nowinski, I'm coming to you. Bob, and I see you, your hand up, Jerome. Bob Proctor would tell you like this, Deanna. You make exactly amount of money you are aware of how to make. Not a penny more. That's Bob Proctor. Jim Rohn will tell you like this, and I'm actually quoting Bob Proctor. Now I'm about to quote Jim Rohn. Money is funny. If you don't find a way to grow out to it, it will dwindle down to you. So if you want $1 million, this is how he sounds, it's best you become a millionaire. That's what I got. You actually said that's exactly what he said. What'd you say, John?
And you're actually speaking too fast for Jim. I mean, you had his accent, but
yeah, too fast. You sure right. yeah. Anyway, go ahead, John. It's your turn.
Well, I just wanted to give my interpretation of adjustment. To me, when you say I have to adjust to this, I think of that as I got to settle, that I can't keep growing. I just got to stay where I'm at right. And I've really evolved since losing Dad, because the biggest lesson I got from him was he retired from the military, never went to work for anyone else. And for the rest of their life, Mom and Dad struggled money-wise, just trying to get by. But when he passed, he still had his shit-ass grin, forgive my language, on his face. He enjoyed life. And I was looking at my life going, wait a minute, I have more money, I have a house that I've already paid for, I have all of this, but I don't have a smile of happiness. Really? Is that all there is? And that's why when he came to me and said, John, really? Is this? And, that's why my race to 5,000 was, if I have 5,000 or more outside of a job, I'm leaving. And that's when I looked at my bank account and I said, I've got money to go to college. It's going to go back to school. I've got this. I've got my 5,000. I've won that race to 5,000. And I'm moving on to another race. And I'm finding that smile of his on my face in life, even though now, things are getting a little tight, but I'm not worried because I know that I'm planting all the right seeds, that my harvest is going to be hellacious,
Oh, I thought I was unmuted. I'm sorry. Look, I've been giving you amens. I didn't even know I was unmuted. I just know that the whole time you was talking, I was with you, John. You just couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear me. They start clapping for you as well. And what I would just tell you is, you are going to have a hellacious harvest, but you already have it. Remember, well, it probably wasn't this class. Y'all don't have to manifest nothing. That's already done.
That's right.
It's already done.
It's already there. It's just, like you said, I'm not on that timeline yet, but I'm not worried because that's where I'm at.
And that puts you in alignment with Source. It does. There's three things. There's three things that happen. I repaste it again, just in case you can't see it. It's right there. But in the three things, it's always you, and you. But it has to be three, or it has to be two. It just depends on what level of things you're talking about. If you're talking about things in reality, which reality isn't real, reality is an illusion. If you're talking about things in reality, there's a duality. Boy, girl, up, down, left, right, hot, cold. You understand? Wet, dry. If you're talking about things in this spatial reality, there's a duality. But when you start talking about creation and your place in the universe, there's always a trinity of things. Mind or conscious, subconscious, superconscious, mind, body, soul, or spirit, however you want to say it. You, the you outside of you, and the you in you telling you how to feel about everything outside of you. That's it. It's it. And here's the crazy part. Somebody, and it's 23 people now on the call. I'm just going to go with numbers. Somebody heard John and said something like negative. It's just numbers. It's just enough numbers here to know that someone rejected something John said. It's just numbers. But you have to reject, because to reject me, to reject John, gets the responsibility off of you so you can continue to live your average life. Because how dare life be so easy that you can actually be great? Hell no, it can't be that way. It's too hard. It's too hard. Because if it wasn't hard, I would have it, because I'm a smart person. And all of us do that. From me to you, we've all done it. We all do it. And if you don't think you're doing it in a certain area of your life. How do you know when you're doing it? Look at the lack. Wherever you have lack, you're doing that right there in that area. If you have any lack in your life, you're doing that. You are rejecting in that area. So if you got a lot of money but no friends, lack. Good job for you. Stop. Why y'all think I surround myself with tempests? Come on. It's not just because she's good for the mission. It's not just because she's good for the mission. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Mm-hmm. All right. Go out back. Just tell her I'm teaching. Tell her what I'm doing. All right. Jerome, Baltimore's finest.
You remember me, huh?
Yeah, well, you had your hand still up, so, it wasn't that hard. So.
Well, unfortunately, I came on late. I was out getting some business taken care of. But for the part that I heard, the thing that came to mind that I want to share, and I know this is going to be important for somebody on the call, and I don't know who it is. It had to do with the first time I met you one-on-one, Antonio, because you were in that meeting. I signed up, but the next day you walked up to me, okay, and that encounter messed me up, okay, because the words that came out of your mouth to me were, "Hey, Jerome, how you doing?" "I'm doing just fine." And I said, "Hey, Antonio, you know, I heard some good things about you." You said, "I heard some good things about you." And then you said, "Jerome, how can I help you?" "Excuse me?" "Yes. How can I help you with your business?" And I was speechless because of the fact that what you just did not measure up. It did not make sense to my reality. Why? Because the reality that I was in is that in the business arena, people are always trying to get something from you, not give something to you. And before we did anything, you were offering me something instead of taking something from me. So by the time we finished talking and you walked away, I said to myself, what just happened? And when I got through processing it, guess what, Antonio? It still didn't make sense. But here's the deal. What you were doing was going to benefit me greatly. I understood that. I just didn't understand what was going on. And I said to myself, Jerome, if what he is saying and what he is projecting is for real, guess what that's going to do for you and where you're trying to get to? That's going to be positive. That's going to be fantastic. You need to pay attention. Because I didn't know, I didn't understand, and I still didn't understand. I've been with you about a year, okay? And ATS, in a nutshell, you, Tempest, the team, have turned my life around, because what I stopped doing was I stopped trying to figure out everything that you say and receive it, act on it, and guess what's happened, Mr. Antonio T. Smith? I've seen progress. I've seen growth. And what I love about what you just said when you talked about John was, it's already there. I'm just vibrating to it. It's already there. So no matter what comes my way, I'm focused on what I got to do and what I get done, and not all that dumb stuff. That's what I got. And as a result of that, totally blown away. So I'm hoping that's going to help somebody to not try to figure out everything that's said and everything that's articulated, and receive it and process it for what you need to do for yourself, and trying to sit there and try to say, well, this is what if what you did worked, why are you where you're at? Because the one thing I understood, Antonio, when I met you was you were doing okay financially. I wasn't doing so okay financially. And I said to myself, Jerome, based on the harvest, he's doing a little bit better than you. You need to listen, not necessarily, but listen. And I do the same thing with the word of God, Antonio. I don't understand everything in the word of God, but I receive it by faith and I process it. And guess what? It comes to pass when it needs to come to pass. And I don't have to sit there and wrestle with it and try to figure it out. Just receive it. And because I've done that with ATS, I have been highly blessed. And I just hope that what I'm saying is going to help somebody. Stop wrestling with it, receive it, process it, act on it as best you can, and keep it moving. Don't wrestle with it, because if you had everything that you needed, you'd be doing great. And I got to go back to something you say, Antonio, and this blessed me recently. Your harvest. If you planted bananas, oranges ain't coming up. If you planted oranges, bananas ain't coming up. Look at your harvest. If your harvest is fantastic, then you keep doing what you're doing. If it ain't, look at your harvest. Because sometimes you think you plant bananas and you actually plant oranges. Hello?
Facts.
That's all I need to say.
Facts. Facts. I'm going to post this again. I see your hand up, Robin. I'm coming to you. I'm going to post this again. Because the only three things that happen in life is you, your dreams, and your interpretation of what's actually going on. Since Jerome said harvest, you can put my weight on it. If your harvest is not what you desire, don't even correct nobody. Shut your mouth, be quiet. You have no reason to talk. You don't. Now, am I talking amount? Nope, but someone heard that, didn't they? Because you can only hear me. Listen to what I actually said. If your harvest is not what you desire. See, this is why I got to repeat myself. Because I know someone got offended. Money don't matter. It only matters if you want money to matter. In my life, I want money to matter. So money matters. So I can get, who knows why I want a lot of money? Well, of course, who's not on my team knows why I want a lot of money. Of course y'all know. I said, let me hear your Pam Norris. I say it all the time if you listen to the video.
Because you want to help people with your money. It's not for you personally, it's for what you can do out in the world and the difference you can make in people's lives and a change that's positive. Right. It's not about you.
I want to give 80% of that money back. Mm-hmm. And very specifically, I want to give it back to the people like me. It's the only reason why money is a motivator for me. It's because it's not a motivator. It's what I want to do with it that's the motivator.
See that, and that's where I'm at. Is that I want the money, but it's not to be able to have everything, the cars or whatever. It's what I can do with it and change lives of people, so some of the youth, so they don't end up at 55 and having a visit from their dad going, "Really? You've done all this? What are you doing?" I want to get to the young and make them start living and giving back to others as well. Just start a chain reaction. I think you're muted.
Something just wrong then. You can't hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's Verizon then. I don't know what's going on there. When you harvest, if your harvest is not what you desire, now see, I'm not saying this or that. I'm saying, in my case, I got everything in my life that I want. Period. I live 100% of my dreams. I'm 100% happy. Everything I have in my life, I want. Period. And I had it before I had followers and before I had money. And that's the important part. Because if I never had it first, I wouldn't have it now. But if you are jacked up in your own harvest, listen to me, there's a scripture for this. How you gonna point out the speck in someone else's eye? And you got the log in yours. If your harvest is not what you desire, you don't have the right to disagree with someone. Because, just like billionaire Andreas said, whenever you talk and not listen, you only repeating what you already know. And what you already know got you right here. And that's just the way it is. Now, can everybody accept that? No. Can I put a percentage of the people who don't accept it? I sure can. If 1% of the world controls 96% of the world's income, now I can tell you for sure there's only 4% left, isn't it? Yes. And if 3% of the world controls the other 3% of the income, I can tell you right now that 96% of people on planet Earth cannot accept what I just said. How do I know that? Because I'm only looking at the harvest. That's it. I can tell you right now, what I just said was so inflammatory for most of this phone call. And it wasn't. It was me saying, take responsibility for your own life. And if your harvest is not what you desire, shut up and listen. I'm on Goldcast for saying that very thing. Goldcast had 8 of my videos they could have picked. And they picked the one when I told the whole world how a teacher told me to shut up and listen. And you celebrated it because it was me being told to shut up and listen. Now that it's you, it's a problem. No. I was telling Tempest yesterday, get ready, Robin. That's the second billionaire I've had on my podcast in 7 days. Adonia, there's another one on there. As of yesterday, there's another one on there. All right, look, she be listening. Look, Adonia ain't playing. she listening. Second billionaire in 7 days. And I told Tempest I had a moment. I had to sit down and realize I'm in alignment, Tempest. You too, I say that? There's a private conversation with Tempest. I said, yo, 2 and 7? Yeah, please know, before 7 days ago, I ain't never even met a billionaire. I ain't even lying. I ain't never even met a billionaire. I mean, I was in Dallas at the same time Mark Cuban was in Dallas somewhere. I don't know where he was. But if you want to say 20 million people, I've been 20 million people away from a billionaire. But 2 of them, I got their personal information. We friends. What? I'm going to fly out. Well, anyway. I don't want, Tempest don't like me, and she say keep that on Sports Center, right? But I'm in alignment. How did I get in alignment? I stopped thinking that I know what's best for me, because I don't. I don't know what's best for me. Source me know what's best for me. Okay. And as long as I is stronger than source, I don't know jack. Nothing. Y'all too smart. I tell my team all the time, they had curse words in it when I tell them, you need to be dumb AF is what I say. I do. Bring it down. Bring it down. How many times do I brag about Phil and Susan and their coaching? All the time. How many times I brag about Daryl and his greatness and how he's chief sales officer? All the time. If I thought I was better than them, you know damn well I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. This is my the company named after me. Why would I even big any of y'all up? Come on. This Trump Towers. That's a bad example. You get the point, though. Bad example, but you get the point. My name up there is what I'm trying to. I just forget that he's actually president right now. Yeah, I got opinions about him. But I was just trying to say my name is on the wall, is what I was trying to say there. Relax. If you can take anything from this call, which we're about to go higher, everything's okay. And you don't have to do nothing. It's already done. And if I can get you to receive, it's already done. I'll prove it to you, and then I'll call on Robin. Chantel, good friend of mine, I love Chantel. She's got a passion for young teenage girls, and I just kind of switched on it, but let's just talk about the teenage girls because I can clearly talk about that. Did y'all know that ain't real? Her passion is real. It's only a real passion in the 21st century, young teenage girls. If we was in 1700, ain't no such thing as a teenage girl. That's a wife. That's a wife. They was married at 13, 15, and 16. So her passion today couldn't even exist 200 years ago. I just need you to process that information. And if I can change one detail about your facts. It ain't a fact no more. It's subjective. All of our stuff that drives us, it's subjective. We got to go to what Chantel likes to do is help people that right there, but no one else is helping them. And she knows what that feels like. She wants to help people before they make the mistakes she did. That's what's objective. In the 21st century, it just happens to be teenage girls. You understand what I'm saying? Or young women. But at 13 and 1700, a young woman was 13. 13. So what am I saying? All that stuff you think is real about Adonia, it's not. Adonia is a set of ideas her mom gave her dad gave her, religion gave her, all sorts of stuff, the country. And then they said, now that idea is you. And it's only when Adonia said, you know what, that wasn't me. I'm a conscious. I am a being. I'm consciousness. I'm supreme consciousness. And I just happen to be addressed by what you put on me, but I'm not what you put on me. Mm-hmm. If I can make it more plain for you, because I'm setting up Robin. Mm-hmm. India, I reset it best. I am not my hair. Robin?
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I got y'all in my back pocket. So, piggybacking off of what you had said about your first, like being able to sit down with, a billionaire. A couple years ago. Two of them. Okay.
I just want to thank you very much.
I went to a conference and, I've always heard the saying, just like all of us on this call has heard, if you are around 9 broke people, you about to be the 10th one. And so I heard we hear this all the time. So something in me was like, well, if that is true, then that means if I find me 9 millionaires, then I'm about to be the 10th one. So I went on a journey to find people who were millionaires. And I was like, not only do I just want to be around them, but I want to get their telephone numbers. I want to, build relationships with them. I want to know what they know, do what they do, act the way they act. And then that summer, I found myself having 2 millionaire phone numbers in my phone where we would talk on a regular basis. And that's been maybe about 5 or so many years ago. And I'm like, okay, I probably got like 7 millionaires in my phone now. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to be number 10. So I'm really, really excited about this journey that I'm on. But also to say with what Jerome, I received everything that Jerome had just spoke of. And so I no need to repeat any of it. But just to say that when you're just walking in your light, knowing what you're supposed to do. So even like me here, I'm sitting here and I'm twisting my client's hair. But I'm not twisting her hair because last year around this time, I said I quit. And I meant that. Now I know, Antonio, you told me, it was like, my best advice for you is to quit your job, just to quit. And I was like, I quit. And so not understanding, and I'm not sure if you understood it as the way I'm seeing it now, is that I didn't understand, like me saying I quit is like, okay, well, you might not physically go back home and not do hair anymore. But in my mind, by the time I drove all the way back home to Maryland from Florida, I'm no longer a hairstylist. So when I'm doing my client's hair, I'm not doing my client's hair as a hairstylist. I'm doing my client's hair as a speaker. And so our conversations are so much different than what they were if I was having a conversation with them as being their hairstylist. So everything is totally just, I'm not going to say it's changed because I believe everything is still the same. It's just at the next step, the next staircase, the next step, but everything everything is the way it is. Everything is still the same. Nothing has changed. The road, the map is all still there. I'm just further along my road. or on that map. But yeah, so I don't do my clients' hair as a hairstylist. I do them as someone who's preparing a keynote. Every time I'm with a client, I'm like, okay, I'm twisting your hair, I'm braiding it, I'm plaiting it, I'm combing, I'm shampooing it, but I'm not doing it. I'm not shampooing, I'm not twisting, I'm not combing. I'm actually creating keynotes as I am shampooing their hair, as I am twisting it, as I'm doing the physical thing. I'm actually in my mind, I'm creating the keynotes, because my mind is not as a stylist anymore, it's as a speaker. So yeah, that was my word.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, that's not even, yeah. That's not even multitasking. That is you understanding you are not what you're doing. You're continuously working on your craft and your future, even while doing stuff in the present, because again, there really is no future, but that's a different conversation. Tempest, I'm posting out here again because I see different people on. There's three things: you, your dreams, your interpretation of what's actually going on. Chantel was right. She said, I can see why you skipped to three, because it's the only thing it's the hardest thing people accept. Mm-hmm. It's the hardest thing that people accept. There's three. Because however you're interpreting me, Jerome, you're right. Now, you may be wrong in accordance to what you want, but you're still right. You're right. I'm looking across the room. My 10-year-old fell asleep. He got the headphones in his ear, and he's still online. So he's asleep, and I'm in his subconscious. I'm looking at him right now. He can't even see. Aiden, wake up. He's right. He's right. Him sleeping is the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way for him to get this information. Now, if I was one of them other parents, he would have me messed up because he's not going to embarrass me. And then he would get a whooping because I don't want to be embarrassed. Now, what's that got to do with him or his growth? It's about me, though, right? And when I'm proving that, I'm using me as the example. That was me and my parenting. I ain't talking about nobody else parenting. Right? I'm talking about me, because I don't have to get stones thrown at me when I talk about me. I use that as an example because my interpretation of what's actually going on is Aiden asleep getting me in his subconscious. It is not, how dare you, whatever, right? It's always about your interpretation. But the moment I mess up my interpretation, if he's asleep, I'm looking at him right now. He's about 7 feet away from me, asleep on the floor, because, kids can do stuff like that. They got flexible stuff, and, grown folks sleep. First off, we can't even get on the floor, Take us a little while to get back up. You understand? But right now, him sleeping is a very insignificant event for him. He sees his daddy as a CEO, as always, that has many people working or filing for him, as always, and he's always listening to information, as always. That he will remember when he's 30. But you know what else he'll remember if he's 30, Adonia? If I get up here and embarrass him in front of y'all. If I wake him up and say, how dare you let me down like that, he'll remember that for the rest of his life. Now, why would I take an insignificant event and make it a memorable one for him? Because my interpretation was wrong. That's a perfect example of me, my dreams, and how I'm interpreting what's happening right now. And if you can't get it yet, let me jack up my son's life, and then you talk behind my back, and then I go to jail, and then you say, see, I knew it. That's why I stopped following. You do that, and then you'll get it. You just won't get it for you. You'll just get it so you can be cool in the conversation about me. So let's avoid all of that. And let's just say my son sleeping is the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way for him to get the information. Is the other one asleep? He real still? Ashley, you sleep? His phone looked like it died too. He ain't even know him no more. They get this all day, every day. I'm tired, Daddy. Let me play the game. You know what I'm saying? But if I take it personal, the only thing I'm gonna do is personally jack them up. Why, Jerome? Because I want it to be right. Oh, no, he just came back on. So he woke. His phone just popped again. He woke.
See,
there you go.
See, that's the coolest thing about my dad was he allowed us all to be individuals. And we sit around and we joke about this, myself and my 7 brothers and sisters, that we each individually only got dad upset once. And we call it meeting God with dad, because my dad was just so laid back that he just wanted you to be your own person. And I think that's why even now with the grandkids, it's the same thing. We all marched our own drum because we didn't get forced by what he thought we should be doing. And I'm so thankful for the way he was.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, I'm far from the perfect. Sure, these kids gonna grow up and figure out something I did wrong and be mad about it. They will. They'll figure it out. And then they'll calm down. But at the end of the day, and this ain't nothing in your life is about you. And nothing in your life requires you to grow. That's just some cool stuff motivational speakers put in books. You don't got to grow. You have to actually strip all this stuff we put on you. You were born already well enough.
Antonio?
Yes, sir.
Can I take a few moments of your time real quick? Can I read something to you? You stop moving. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you. He said you can go ahead.
I don't know what's going on here. Yeah.
Okay. I just thought, I just want to read something real quick too. I thought it would help. I'm actually reading from The Art of Living by Bob Proctor. And he says in here, and I think it would tie into, you know, what we've been talking about for the last couple of days. And it said, in working with the law, Raymond Hollywell says, all of the process of nature are successful. Nature knows no failures. She never plans anything but success. She aims at results in every form and manner. To succeed in the best and fullest sense of the term, we must, with nature as our model, copy her methods. In her principles and laws, we shall discover all the secrets of success. And it goes on to say, keep in mind, everything in this universe that you can see with the naked eye and everything you cannot see is an expression of spirit. Also bear in mind that spirit operates by exact laws. You are subject to those laws in just the same manner as nature is. Therefore, Hollywell is right. We definitely should copy nature's methods. You see, this is an orderly universe. Nothing happens by accident. The images you plant in your marvelous mind instantly set up an attractive force that governs your results in life. You must remember, though, that this process is equally as effective with positive images as it is with negative ones. It is equally as effective with positive images as it is with negative ones. Although it is true that everything you will ever want is already here, if not in form, in substance. It is up to you to get into harmony with it, since you do attract everything into your life by law. It would be a wise move on your part to begin forming the habit of thinking only of what you want, regardless of the conditions or circumstances you may presently find yourself in. I just want to share that.
You said it so well, too. Bob Proctor is the greatest teacher of all time. I'm just telling you. It's just great. There's so much there.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I can do is bring in the wisest woman I know. Tempest, unmute your mic for me. I can't. I'm not going to follow Bob Proctor. Who's going to do that? It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy. Tempest, in my person, I mean, honestly, Tempest is the wisest woman I know, and she has gifts I don't have. If I had them, I would be better by other people's standards, right? But I wouldn't be a better person because I wouldn't be me no more. I would be her.
Mm-hmm.
She is wise. And I almost wanted to tell you to do something, Tempest, but I don't. I'm going to just let you free talk.
Okay. I'll say that everything's a choice. You choose who you are. You choose who you want to be. You choose whether or not you live up to other people's expectations. You choose whether or not you participate in stereotypes. You choose whether or not you want to live in a certain place or in a certain area. You choose whether you want to be with someone or not. You choose whether you want to be friends with someone or not. You choose whether you want to betray someone or not. You choose your life. So if you're interpreting things and you're not happy with your harvest and you don't know what your dreams are, it's probably because you don't know who you are, because you chose not to know who you are. You chose to be what other people wanted you to be. And you never paused long enough to figure out, what do I want with my life? And you walk around this earth, you walk around this journey upset and pissed off at everybody because life ain't going the way it's supposed to go. Maybe it's not going the way it's supposed to go because you're living someone else's life and it's going the way that their life is supposed to go. But because you refuse not to choose you, because you refuse to choose the life that was chosen for you, you live a chosen life. And chosen life is not good. You know what we call that? You know what my ancestors had to call that? Call that slavery. They were chosen to be slaves. They were chosen to go out and pick cotton and work for the slave owners and work from dusk to dawn and sweat to death and be beaten and be separated from their children and be embarrassed and be without what they knew because someone chose life for them. And somehow we let that slavery mentality trickle down to 2019 and we are choosing to live a chosen life. But we're upset with everything and everybody but ourselves because we refuse to take responsibility that I have a choice to live my life. I have a choice to decide if I want to live up to your expectations or if I'm going to create expectations for myself. So maybe your harvest isn't great. Maybe I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my purpose is in life. Maybe I'm struggling because I don't know who the hell I am. And as long as you don't know who the hell you are, God can't bless who the hell you are. God can't bless a fraud. He can, but you don't get that exceedingly and abundantly blessing. You get that you woke up this morning, and that is a blessing, okay? Because I know some people who didn't wake up this morning. I know some people who had plans for today, but they didn't make it to today. But as long as you choose not to live your life, as long as you choose not to take inventory, you live a chosen life. And maybe you're miserable because you ain't chose you. So before you complain, before you come up with your marketing plans, before you blame the boss, before you blame God, before you blame Donald Trump, maybe you need to look in the mirror because you chose to be here. If it was so bad, there are 1,000 other places for you to go. There's plenty other countries for you to live in, but you chose to live in the United States. So it can't be that bad. Okay? So maybe you're comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's your fault because you chose to live an uncomfortable life. So stop complaining about the life that you chose. Stop complaining that the harvest isn't what you want it to be because you planted them seeds. You chose to plant the seeds and the awareness that you chose to have. You chose to, not talking about anybody, I'm just letting it flow. You chose to portray some people in your past. And now that harvest has sprouted up, and now you got to deal with it because your choices led you to where you are. Maybe you don't have the money in your bank account that you wanted at 31, and you about to turn 32 in a couple of months. I don't get to blame nobody but me because in my past, I made some choices that were unworthy of me. But in the past, I thought they were worthy of me because I chose to live a life full of low self-esteem. I chose to live a life that other people put on me, and I never chose Tempest. So maybe it's not the harvest. Maybe it's not your dreams. Maybe it's you and your choices and who you decide to be when you wake up. Maybe you chose to wake up this morning in a bad mood. That ain't traffic fault. I live in Houston, Texas. There is traffic 24/7, 365, 366 on leap year. Traffic ain't going nowhere. I choose to let the traffic adjust me. So I'm not adjusting to life. I'm not adapting. I'm existing. I'm creating because I choose to do so. So if you're not in this, you're not in the vibration that you want to be in, it's your fault because you chose not to be in that vibration. If you're not at the dollar amount that you want, it is your fault because you chose not to do it. It's not God's fault. God didn't tell you to sit here and only do this thing. You chose to do that. And you prayed and said, God bless this. And I said, I'm going to bless this because that is what you asked of me. But maybe if you take the limits off of the God that you say you serve, if you take the limits off of the God that is in you, then maybe you can embrace the unlimited. Maybe you can embrace the abundance that you cry out for. Maybe your dreams and your business will explode if you take the limits off of it. But you have to choose if you're going to take those limits off. You have to choose if you're going to accept who you are. You have to choose if you're going to walk in this lane or you're going to walk in this lane. It's not your fault. And God didn't say this is what it's going to be for your life. God said just exist. You chose your lane. You chose your house. You chose your neighborhood. You chose your spouse. You chose to get with people that you know didn't have no business getting with you. But you chose because you knew better. You chose because you too smart. You chose because I'm always right and can't nobody tell me nothing. So now you deal with the harvest. So if life ain't what you wanted, you chose that thing. And you must deal with it. And in order to change it, you got to change you. Forget your interpretation. Yes, that is important. But y'all interpreting things through someone else's lenses because you're not who you are. It's number one for a reason. You start with number one. You have to be who you are. And you only get to be who you are unless you choose it. And if you don't, other people will choose for you. And then you live a chosen life. You live a slave life. And someone else is your slave owner. And I don't know about you, and I'm done, Antonio. You can have the mic back. But my ancestors went through slavery. And they overcame that. So I don't have to. So I'm not going to go backwards to live the life that they have already overcome. I don't want my future kids to go backwards and deal with the things that I've done. I'm supposed to push them forward. So you choose today whether your legacy is owned by someone else or owned by you.
Well,
Amen.
I know what to do this time. Come here, Ada. Come here, buddy. I know what to do. Whenever you got to, it's like Apollo. You put the kids on Apollo, they can't boot. Come on, buddy. I'm following up with my son. Okay. I gotta come in, buddy. Come in the camera. All right. Say hey, everybody. You all sleeping, so hold on. Let me see if I can put it on the speaker for you so you can see where you're at. Oh. Can you see? Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. All right, there you go. Right there, buddy. Right there. Here, put the headphones in here. All right. Tell everybody what's the secret to life.
To be happy.
And as long as you're happy, what? You say whatever you want. You'll be right. The secret to life is to do what?
To be happy.
To be happy. And should we walk around sad?
Mm-mm.
And should we fall into consumerism? You gonna say no? Tell everybody hi.
Okay.
You want to tell us something? You want to show us some knowledge? You want to show us some knowledge? What you mean you want to show us some knowledge? Drop some knowledge on us. Come on, you got it. What you want to tell us?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. All right. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A gamer.
Will you ever get a job?
No.
Say that from the beginning. Will you ever get a job?
No.
Good job, buddy.
He has the equipment.
All right. There we go. All right, there we go. I think Darryl wanted to say something. Darryl, I think you up. Yeah. I put the kid in between that fire. Yeah.
No, I actually didn't have anything to say. I'm just enjoying it.
Okay. You know that shouting and running around the church just like me. All right.
When you put the symbolism up about running around, that's exactly what I was thinking. So this just kind of reminds me of Tim was just not having nothing to say, you know?
Yeah. He came out here did the Liddell and the Bride to start preaching. Yeah, buddy. Robin, we on you, Robin.
Okay. So, Tempest, you're awesome. You're so awesome. Oh my gosh. Like, she just makes my heart just like joyously, overly joyous. So I love you, Tempest. But what I want to say is back when you was talking about just like your child being on the floor, sleeping, and how like is no need to interrupt that. So last night, if anybody watched, I did a Facebook Live with my daughter. And one thing that she said, because she knew she was going to say something that was going to like unnerve me a little bit. And she said, "This is my sacred space." So that was her telling me, like, "Mom, this is my sacred space, right? And I get to say what it is that I choose to say in this sacred space." And so as being an adult, it could have been so easy for me. And if anybody noticed my face expressions, I wanted to be like that old school mama that was like, "Girl, don't you say nothing to embarrass me." But I say, you know what, this is her sacred space. And there's no need for me to interrupt her thought of whatever it is and however she feel, because there needs to be a time and a place for her to, or children, period, just to express themselves the way that they express themselves so that we can hear. And so like earlier on the call, the greatest lesson is to listen. And if we can learn to listen, then we can grow out of the listening. So I think one of the things I mentioned to her last night on the Facebook Live was that I'm not listening to just your words, but I'm listening to your body language. I'm listening to it. I can literally hear it with my ears, not just what I see, because if I close my eyes and if she had an attitude in her body language, I also will be able to hear that. So, you know, just 100% just agreeing, like there's no need at times for us to interrupt anything. Just let it be. There's no need for it at all. And so, yeah, just that alone, like I was just so like really feeling that whole thing of what you said, like he's on the floor, he's asleep. There's no need for me to get at him, because the only thing he would probably never remember how dad may let me sleep at that moment, but he definitely will remember if you was like, "What, ain't you supposed to be on this call? Wake up, you supposed to be listening." He would remember that, and it would carry him negatively for the rest of his life. And so the same thing, if I would have interrupted my daughter and not allow her to speak in her sacred space that she created, even around her own self, if I wouldn't allow her to do that, she would have remembered that for the rest of her life. And then anything else that I would try to help her with in her life, she would have already closed the door down to hearing anything else I had to say. Because, see, Mom, here you go again. You don't listen, and you're the adults. I would be basically proving her point. But she proved her point very well. But at the same time, I just, all that stuff right there. So I don't want to be long-winded with it, but that's what it is.
No, you good. I mean, when we was kids, we was smart. When we became adults, our kids became dumb. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. And that's at the heart of everything Temple was saying. You or me have the ability to make our children live our thoughts. And then they grow up and underachieve, and then we whip them or we get mad at them for underachieving. Of course they're underachieving. They live in your underachieving life. They live in the life you showed them. Now you mad at them. Inappropriate. Highly inappropriate. I'm with Daryl though. That's once again, Tippers ain't had nothing to say. That's it. And got in the pool pit. And Aiden was asleep until Tippers started talking. Oh, yeah, buddy. No. This is fantastic. There are three things. Someone tell me what the first one was. All right, put it in chat again. Somebody's phone disconnected. They had to come back in. What was the second thing? Your dreams. Your dreams. And then what was the third thing? Your interpretations of what you think is actually going on. Your interpretations of what you think is actually going on. Think what's actually going on. I could take so many different schools of thought. Since this is a predominantly Christian crowd, I'll start there with Romans 8:28. And we know that all things are working together for good for them who love God and are called according to his purpose. Okay? Now, not just the stuff I like, but all things. That means you shouldn't be interpreting anything oppositely of how the great interpreter is interpreting them. This is where we're in. Someone asked me, actually it's the lover is her name, she's in the bureau. She's asking this too. She asked me, she said, what's sin? I said, well, how are you asking this question? Because I'm not going to answer it the way that you are typically going to want me to. And she just happens to ask the question that's in my scholarship. And she said, well, I want to know the way you're going to answer it. Well, I said, I want to give you the objective truth according to what is objective inside your sacred text you're talking about. She said, go ahead. I said, no problem. Sin is anything that's not in the nature of your God. It's like what I told her. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm glad you asked. Can your God be angry and hurt someone? Well, no. All right. Well, that's a sin. And then I took it further. Can your God procrastinate? Well, no. Well, then that's a sin. Anything that is not in the nature of your God according to your Christian Bible is a sin. It's not what you're hearing that your church is anything that separates you from God. But that's what we say to, scare people. What is separating you is you not being your God, not being in the image. And since you're a procrastinator, you're sinning. It's not about doing right or doing wrong all the time. That's the big stuff that we, that's the stuff that packs a church. You know what's the good sin? Not actively listening. I ain't like that one. You ain't never prayed. And your God went, oh, what? My bad. The game was on. What'd you say? What'd you say, Adonia? No. Actively listening. Actively listening is in alignment with the great philosopher, the great source, the great energy. To not do so, well, according to your faith, sin. Now, let's say you don't have no faith. Good. And me and you got a lot in common. Because I'm not someone that typically hangs around church folk. So let's go drink a beer together. But tell you what, it doesn't change what's being said. Because as long as you stop being who you were originally intended to be when you agreed upon such things, as long as your feelings scream at you and say, this doesn't feel good, and you keep doing what don't feel good, as long as you stay at that job because it's comfortable, but it's killing you, as long as you stay at that body weight that you don't like no more and don't do nothing about it, you sinning. You're doing something that doesn't serve you because you have a you and you have what you want. But the stuff happening to you, you're interpreting either for you or for you. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't say not for you, Jerome. It's always for you. Sometimes it's just for you in the manner that don't serve you. But it's always for you. It's never not for you. This world loves you so much, it only exists to give you life. Take any school of biology, any study of life, biology, aquarium, water, air, every single thing. Trees can't wait to get rid of oxygen. Don't even like, it's a waste product for trees, plants, just so you can breathe. Plankton feeds whales. So whales don't eat up all the fish so you can eat. Planktons exist to eat up all the microbacteria in the water so the fish that you do eat don't poison you. At the end of the day, I'll read what Peter just posted, although that's the same thing I just said. The context of the verse, God gets angry, reveals why he gets angry. God gets angry when there's a violation of his character. God is righteous, just, holy, and none of these attributes can be promised. So we go back to what I actually said. Angry and hurt somebody. That's what I said. At the end of the day, how you interpret things is working for you or working for you. But it'll never be working against you because you are a compass, a magnet saying, hey, give me this. Every now and then, whatever this is exactly what you wanted that doesn't align with your dreams. I hope, Tempest hopes, we all hope. We had a whole case study for y'all. It was going to be good, too. It really was. But, you know, she's obedient and smart.
Antonio?
I can tell you this. Yes, sir.
I wanted to touch on something what you were saying about sin. Real quick. I don't know if you knew, but the word sin actually comes from an old archery term from way back in, you know, the medieval days. when archers used to practice, when they would miss, they called it a sin. So the word actually simply means to miss the mark. So it was actually an archery's term, back in the old days, when they missed the target, they were saying, hey, you missed the mark. It was a sin. I just wanted to pass that on to you. I just thinking about it.
Well, fantastic information. I appreciate you. When the lover called me, she understand. Well, it doesn't matter. Just know that there was context there that I just didn't reveal. But I love that. Mr. Mark. It's beautiful. Y'all, stop trying to grow. Please. Please stop trying to grow. Now, if you are not complaining, if you don't have a single thing to complain about, you love your life as is, and you do not complain, this conversation ain't had nothing to do with you. If you ain't complaining about one thing, not of money, not of this, or whatever, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing. Because if you're not complaining, you fit right what John Nowinski was saying about his dad. John had way more. Dad had way less. Dad had a wonderful smile on his face. John lacked it. John's dad wasn't complaining. You can be a secretary making $17,000 a year and be far happier than billionaires. Mm-hmm. As long as you're happy, resources find you. People say, girl, Adonia, I got this new living room set. You want this? I need to get another one. We don't even go in there. And all of a sudden, you got you a brand new living room set. That's how it works. People can't wait to give stuff to happy people who appreciate it. Because as soon as they got something they really want to give away, you the one they thinking about. Mm-hmm. Somebody like cook for somebody ungrateful? You fix this whole meal and you came in here eating pizza. Stop growing up. Just be. You're already there. I know it's new information. It doesn't mean that you can't handle it. You've handled plenty of new information. You learned your language, which was new information to you. You got this. What I want you to do is stop trying to adjust the stuff. Just get off this call and just own the fact you are the bomb. Mm-hmm. And when you vibrate at that frequency, you will get those paying clients. The reason why you can't get them is because you keep attracting the ones that don't pay. Feel good about you. You a speaker that want to get keynotes? Start vibrating. Happy. Keynotes will just find you. And they'll be paid. They'll say crazy stuff like, what's your fee? Mm-hmm. And you'll do a crazy thing like actually answer the question. Deanna was on the phone with someone yesterday doing a cold call. And the guy was like, well, I don't want to do the bureau, but I would like Antonio to come speak at our thing. You tell the story. That'd be a great way to end.
He was saying how he didn't see how the bureau would work for him because at this time, that's not what he was looking to do. But he saw a lot of what Antonio was doing because he did some research on him. He was like, but I would love for him to come out and speak to these kids that, you know, I'm trying to get on a better track. So he was like, so go ahead and send it over to me. He was like, and we told him Antonio's speaker fee. He was like, okay, go ahead and send me over his speaker fee and whatever else he required. I was like, okay. Did he get it? Yes, he did.
She said speaker fee is $35,000. That's what my current speaker fee is right now. He got on the phone with me. And I told him, I said, well, listen, I mean, it's about to go up. I just, because I done been on Forbes twice and stuff, I just, can't figure out what it should go up to. He said, wait a minute. Let me pay this $35,000 before it go up. I don't even know this man. It wasn't even my phone call. But when you 100% happy, smart people say stupid things like, wait a minute, let me pay this $35,000 before it go up. Because you don't have to know how it works or know where it's going or know anything. You already know everything. Your math teachers in school been telling you, Daryl, why you second guess yourself? I'm looking at the Scantron. The first answer was the right one. You were born knowing everything. Then you intentionally forgot so you can take the journey on getting back to knowing everything. But deep in you, if you be still
All right, Reverend.
and know Michelle does shout. Be still and know that you are God. Be like Oprah and be still and ask yourself, what's the next right move? Or do my personal favorite. And this is my personal favorite. Just know if you be faithful over what you got in front of you, you will be rulers of everything you want that's not in front of you. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Love you all. See you all at certification and all that stuff. Who booked their flight? Who was that? Adonia? Let's clap for Adonia for booking her flight. Booked her flight. That's it. She got her private jet on the way out here. All right, everybody. Thank you. Oh, you booked your flight as well, Jerome?
Done.
Look at that. All the way from Baltimore. Booked this flight. That's it. Appreciate y'all. Love you. John Calloway, John Nowinski, all of y'all. Don't you thank you for your energy, all you for your input. Chantel, she's not here, but thank you for your input. All right, everybody.